let me switch Rowan and the timer. Hi, in case this is not Sam. In case people don't realize
What do you mean?
that.
Sam.
Oh, sorry, Sam. You just look different. Your hair is like curlier than usual.
I got a perm.
You got a perm?
Yeah.
That seems like something you would do.
Yeah.
Thank you to the lovely Rowan for subbing in for Sam today. Sam is currently hibernating. I know I am not provide context on that because I don't think there is any needed or I am able to provide. This is our WIP Wednesday. It is generally going to be business as usual, aside from a slightly different face in the co-host spot. What will you be working on today, Rowan?
Oh, I'm still working on the same novel. I'm almost at the end of it. Or the first draft. I'm still drafting.
Yeah, first draft. I get that. Nice. Do you want to say like a line about it or like some vibes?
Yeah, I realized that I've told you in length about what.
No worries.
It is called Stag. That's the working title. If any of you have working knowledge of the drama that was Fleetwood Mac, sort of based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically a band where everyone has been married to each other at some point, and their divorce and falling out was very public and very, very interesting. I'm writing about a Fleetwood Mac inspired band from the 80s called Stag, coming back for their 20th year reunion tour. And all of the emotions and drama that come with being around people that you know too much about.
Have they been seeing each other for the past 20 years?
They haven't seen each other since the massive.
So at one point you knew so much about, but now you're like, this new you is practically a stranger, but are they?
Exactly. You got to the heart of it immediately. Yeah.
I understand where your mind goes. We're on the same level. And then
what will you be working on?
I will be working on Storm's Heir, which is what I usually work on. We are not on break 3. Let me fix that. It is, as I refer to it casually, my gay dragon novel. But it is, sorry, Cody, it's not your birthday. It is about a young man, Rai, whose village is attacked by dragons, and the dragon flame as like washes over him, breaks a spell that has been holding his identity as a dragon a secret from him and everyone around him. It breaks that spell and he discovers he's a dragon, but also dragons just murdered like a lot of his loved ones. And he has to like figure out why the dragons are attacking, what happened to him, and also, wow, I need to like smooth this out, but and there's a imperial prince whose father is a shitty emperor because no man in charge in my world are good at being in charge. Kind of a general rule. No dad is a good guy, and no man in charge is good at being in charge. And he's trying to be the new man in charge, but he'll be good at it if he.
I'll be president of the Jason fan club right here.
Yeah, we love Jason. He's just a guy trying his best. All right, that will enter our first sprint. We can chat after. Ta-da! That's the end of that sprint. Oh, that sprint was so long. You're muted. I muted you. Let me unmute you.
Yeah, that was like an entire lifetime.
I know.
I just went through an entire character arc.
Like, why is there still so much time left?
Yeah, I had an entire character arc in that 45 minutes.
Oh my god, I had a character arc. No, but how'd you do? How much did you get done?
I wrote about 300 words, but
okay.
In my defense, I was cultivating a perfect playlist for the scene that I'm writing. So
that for you. I don't do playlists, but I
usually don't. But
I got 699 words, which is so much more than I thought I was going to, especially because I spent a good 20 minutes of that sprint not writing. I updated our YouTube. I made a thumbnail. I checked LinkedIn, which I think LinkedIn is so funny because I'm connected to some people in the industry through like school and alumni and stuff, like higher up in the industry. Not that they have any idea who I am, but they're like, sure, I'll say yes to this random kid. And it's like on LinkedIn, they have like recommended like people you might know. And the second was just Felicia Day. And I'm like, I don't know her. I don't think I know anyone who knows her. I don't know why she popped up in my people I might know.
Never say never. I mean, you might like Kevin Bacon your way to her. I have a lot of weird connections like that.
I'd be okay Kevin Baconing my way to Felicia Day. But it was just like she popped up and I was like, what? I don't know her. I'd be okay knowing her. That'd be awesome. But
LinkedIn just keeps
LinkedIn to assume I already do know her.
LinkedIn only ever recommends me family members for some reason.
They're so many school alumni.
To connect with insert father's name here. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could.
So because of one gig I got, which I'm not saying on stream until
something happens.
It already happened.
I don't.
The first episode came out.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 people watching and one of them's me. I worked on Dropout Adventuring Academy, season 6 as a PA. And so I have like Dropout on my LinkedIn. And so it recommends me all these Dropout people.
Yeah.
Being like, you guys both work for Dropout in February. And I'm like,
yeah, but that's Lou Wilson. And I'm
yeah, I'm like, yes, but no. And it's a lot of that. And I'm like, okay. And then I think the Dropout people have connections with more celebrity people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, I'm already, through that one singular gig, I can bump up to people, but I'm like, these people don't know who I am. I was a PA. I got their coffee.
Never say never. Hey.
Yeah. I went to a UCB show last night, which is the improv place.
Yeah.
And a lot of people Dropout do improv there. And Jacob Wysocki and Oscar Montoya, which are both people I've met. Jacob through a different thing, and then Oscar through like a D&D thing out here. And we like all went to a bar afterwards. And I was like, I don't know if these people would remember me. And my teacher was in the show. I was like, there's not an opportunity to like say hi afterwards or anything like that, like there is in like stage plays.
Yeah.
And I was like, and we like, the person I was with hurriedly like shuffled us out afterwards.
See, I would have tried at the very least. You should try.
I was like, I don't know how to like, because they leave behind this like curtain and then like everyone's getting up to leave. And so I think I'm gonna ask my teacher, like, if we know people, can we say hi after? Like, so
I don't see why you couldn't. I guess things are different in the big city, but
I don't know.
I'm also weirdly extroverted, so Maybe don't take my advice on that.
The show was really good, though.
Yeah, I was about to ask how that went.
Yeah, it was like, it's called Fuck This Month. So the performers ask the audience, like, what's a story from your month that makes you go fuck this month? And some of the... I am not saying I'm a great verbal wordsmith, but some people are really bad at telling stories. Not the performers, but like the audience members that were telling the stories. And God, this sounds like such an asshole thing to say. Like, I feel like an asshole saying this, but I'm just like, the story was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, you've gone in like 12 different directions, and I like to consider myself intelligent-ish, and I don't know what you're talking about. And I was just like looking up at the improv people, like the performers who do this as a job, and none of them had a poker face on. And they were like, except like the one guy in the front, who was like kneeling and like, yeah, okay, like to the person, and then everyone else was like, and there's a couple just like,
see, that's like my biggest fear.
What?
Audience participation is one of my biggest fears, both for myself and for other people, just because there's no way to plan that interaction, and so many things can go wrong so fast.
I was dying. I'm like 3 seats over from this person and dying, and I felt bad because I was dying, and I'm like, if they're not embarrassed, I have no reason to be embarrassed, but I am embarrassed.
No, I think secondhand embarrassment could kill you, and I am surprised no one has.
They seemed unbothered, and I'm like, I love that for you. I'm absorbing all of the bother. The bother is me.
No, but like genuinely, that's a terrible situation to be in, where
and
the
then it
person
happened 3 times.
Everyone is completely oblivious to what's going on in this situation. Yeah, no, I hate audience participation. I've hated it. That one Dan Howell video, he understands me. Audience participation sucks.
I don't know the video you're talking about, but it's like a big thing at the improv shows is audience participation. For like shouting out ideas and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes, but also
nervous shivers just thinking about it. Like, the reason I could never have like a platform like that is just because I couldn't stand, one, being perceived and having to interact with people who are perceiving me and wanting to tell me things. I couldn't do that.
I can do it, but I'm just like, or I hope I can. I have my show coming up, but it was an experience. But I mean, they worked really well off of what the person said, what all of the people said. They were very funny sketches. Like, it definitely was entertaining and then educational. I enjoy improv, but I do kind of want to take like a sketch comedy class instead. Or
I would recommend it.
Or the writing classes. They have comedy writing classes. They're all really expensive. But I think they do have some like scholarships, so I'm going to try and apply to those.
I think you should. I think that written comedy is so difficult, as I was figuring out today with this scene that I'm writing. It is a balance of like atmosphere and comedy, and I'm just I've been trying to make this one joke work, and it took almost 20 minutes of me just restructuring, and it was not funny in the end, so I deleted it anyway.
Oh no! I think you should like have whatever like your last draft was, and just like, okay, I'll come back to this later.
Yeah, probably.
I'll think about it in the shower or something.
Yeah.
I like will write a line. I'm like, this is not. There's an idea of a joke here, but this is not the line for it. But I need the line here. And I know when I go through and edit this later, I'll be like, what the fuck? That is a horrible line.
For me, I found the issue usually lies about 3 or 4 lines back in the setup to the joke. And once I change that, it fixes it. But today, it has just not been working with me. I also don't know enough about TikTok to not make jokes about it without sounding like a boomer.
I love that for you.
I was trying to make a joke about like the kind of guy who watches TikToks out loud on his phone without headphones so everybody else can hear it.
Yeah.
But also he was doing it in the comfort of his own room, so it did make me sound like kind of a boomer when I was trying to make another character joke about that. And I was like, okay.
If you're doing it in the comfort of their own room,
there was someone else in the room. There were 2 people in the room, but
then That's weird.
I'm trying to like set up a joke where it's like, oh, he's watching TikToks out loud instead of hanging out with the person in the room, and I'm like, I sound 85 years
You
old.
do sound 85 years old. But you can do it in like a way where it's like we're here to spend time with each other. Like if we like the whole like we're not body doubling. We're not both on our phones. The other person just like sitting there and being like,
And like this is a person that he has like not, it's not quite a romantic relationship. It's a secret third thing.
oh,
But
okay. I think then
really
you should not as much the tick, or if I was doing it, I wouldn't go with much the TikTok route, but the joke of you have a whole ass real human person right here, and yet
yeah, like you literally traded rooms to be sharing a room with this person, and then you are watching TikToks on your phone instead
and you
of
don't even have the decency to put headphones
to
in.
put headphones on. And
Yeah.
I just, the joke is there somewhere, but
It
I
is,
spent
it
20
is.
minutes trying to find it, and it's still not there. I'm gonna spend the next sprint trying to get there.
Fair. Although I always, advocate for putting it as is and coming back to later.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have to, because
Like I'll obsess over something for a little while, but I'm like, okay, I need to keep going.
yeah, that's been one of my biggest things recently, is being okay with it kind of sucking for a little bit.
That's fair.
I can't have things suck even for a little bit.
Yeah. As I write, I'm like, okay, this is probably, I kind of approach it with, this is all going to suck in comparison to what I end up with. So I'm okay with it sucking at first because I know it will improve.
Yeah.
But I know I'm more chill with sharing first drafts than a lot of writers.
Yeah.
Like I'll just like spit something out and be like,
You really are.
Thank you.
No, it's a good thing.
And I've been doing that since I like started writing like with people at school. Like I fucking in middle school would like read out portions of my book to my classmates between classes, be like, I want to be the center of attention. And then like all of the fanfics for friends that I've written over the years, just like wrote them down and then taking a picture because I'm writing it by hand and then sending it to my friends and be like, here you go.
That's so cute.
Like this is us in, Marvel.
I'm trying to be more like that, but it is so mortifying.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't being perceived does not have to be mortifying. I think that's where you and I differ, where like you're an actor and I'm not. You're an actor and I'm a techie.
Want to be an actor. I have some mindsets that are actory, but definitely some that are not.
Yeah, I would say I classify you more as a writer than an actor, but your writer tendencies are obviously your actor
more. I'm more chill with my writing being seen by things than a lot of other aspects of myself because I have more confidence in the writing. But yeah, that's chill. That's so fun. Did you listen to music when you were writing? Yeah, your playlist.
Yeah, I did. I made an entire playlist. I'm working on it right now. It is called Nighttime Driving for a Bitch Without a License. And it's.
Do you have a license?
No, working on it.
Oh, okay.
It's like at school, for context, CB and I went to an undergrad that was like in the middle of the woods and you could walk everywhere.
Yes.
So for me, and we started going there when we were 16.
I was 17, but yeah.
Yeah. I was 16, and so that was like peak driving age. And
it was also COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, yeah.
So I just got used to like walking everywhere. And by the time I graduated, it was never really a problem, me not having a license. And now it's a problem.
Now it's a problem because, yeah.
I should have done it 4 years ago, but I didn't need to. And now I need to.
Having my car at school, I both used it a lot and like really not at all. Like,
because you don't need it to drive to classes. You might need it to drive into town.
Sometimes to drive to classes when I was running very late. I'm like, yes, I'm using my car to drive 500 feet because the other option is sprinting.
Yeah, but like when it's 10 minutes to walk anywhere on campus,
you're not driving.
You're not driving.
At Ithaca, like my second college, I did drive to work at the class because Ithaca's on a hill.
Yeah.
And I could walk to all my classes, right? We'll start in a second. Because the timer ended. But my work was I'm at like the base of the campus, like the far edge, and then my work was at the exact other side, and there were so many steps to get there.
That's not worth it.
I was like, I don't want to be exhausted by the time I get to work, and then I'm stopping work at 11 p.m. and I don't want to walk back at night.
That's perfectly reasonable.
20-minute walk up and down. All right, starting the next sprint. Rowan, mute yourself.
Forgot that was an option.
And that is the end of our second sprint. I did terribly that sprint. I spent so much of it trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this scene, because it's kind of like a I don't know. I rearranged a couple things. Oh, I've done you. I rearranged a couple things, and so I'm like, not everything lines up the way it does in the outline.
Yeah.
But I think I started. I also want Jason's like rolling around trying to do sneaky stuff, but he does have the face of the Imperial Prince, who has now shown up at a couple of gatherings, so it's not like he's like nondescript anymore. And I was like, oh, I don't want to put illusion magic over him. And I need a reason not to put illusion magic over him when his illusion magic stealth guy is coming with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't want to say like he's not like powerful enough to maintain an illusion while also like if he needed to disappear or anything. So I was like, okay, I'm having it Yuri not be used to holding an illusion spell on someone else and trying to like use his magic to disappear himself. So he's like, I could manage this all if I was by myself, because you shouldn't be coming with me because you're the prince and I am literally, this is my job. But
yeah, but
oh, I want to go myself.
Jason's just excited to be here and be included.
Yeah, honestly, he's like, no, I can help. And Yuri's like, please, this is literally my expertise. I don't want you to.
Yeah, but have you considered Jason is the dog that follows you to the bathroom?
Yeah, and it's so
guy of all time, truly.
Guy of all time. He's doing his best. He's trying to help. He is help. He'll help eventually, and he is good, but he's I don't know, something about him. I'm like, you're not a himbo. He's way too smart to be a himbo, and he knows way too much what's going on. But he's just so nice, like so pure and good, but also mischievous and horny. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with you. You don't have a classification. It's like you're a 3-dimensional person.
Yeah. He's definitely not a himbo.
No.
He's just sheltered.
Sheltered, but also like startlingly not.
He knows too much about certain things and not enough about others.
He's been taught about the way of the world a lot, but has not experienced the way of the world. And has this like, this is how the world should work mindset, and honestly believes that he can change the world to work that way. And because he does believe that, he will, and he has the skills to back
believe
up.
Him.
Yeah.
I believe him.
I'm so balancing my like actual knowledge as a person in the 21st century that monarchies aren't great. And especially like imperial monarchies. I think that's the term. Like empires morally are not great things. But I'm like, this world is an empire. And I'm like, that emperor bad, but our goal is to replace that emperor with his son.
I don't remember. Is it like a divine right of kings situation or no?
It was a divine right of kings. So the way it is the dragons chose, or like the dragons had long time ago, it was all the emperors are split into different kingdoms and countries and stuff in different ways. And then there was the darkness. I'm going to change the title, but like a great evil rising in the land, and all the humans were like, we don't know how to fight back against it. But then a great hero came from across the mountains, from the land of dragons, and she was blessed by the dragons, and she came here and taught us magic, and she defeated the darkness. And then she returned to the first kingdom that she met, and the king went, what do you want for defeating the darkness and saving us all? And she gets down on one knee and was like, I have fallen in love with your daughter. Can I have her hand in marriage? And the king's like, no, you're different, and I don't know you, even though you're a hero. And then the princess is like, hey, I do love her, and I'm going to marry her. she literally saved us all. We just want you to know about it. And he was like,
well, damn.
I do love my daughter, and actually I was being a dick. You guys can get married. And then their magically made baby started the line of that eventually became that is the ruling family that eventually became the empire. But over centuries, the kind of like divine magic dragon blood, like not actual dragon blood, but that blessing faded, and people corrupted like those ideals passed from like parent to child, but what should be a good ruler went away because people are and power corrupts, basically. And they started being bad rulers, and the people went, hey, we don't want a bad ruler, even if we really liked that's like that story and that truth of magically blessed rulers. So nobles rose up and defeated the dragon blessed family, and they installed their own leader, who was kind of a military leader, but he was all in all kind of a good man. He was a very a good man, as good as a man you can be in a time of war. Or that's what he believed. But he did bad things for what he viewed the sake of the empire.
Yeah.
And then his son, his son grew up spoiled. And like his father wasn't around, and the son is a piece of shit. And he saw that his son was a piece of shit and arranged a marriage between one of the like side family of the dragon blessed line, because there was more than one child born, so branches.
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah. And was like, hey, you're gonna marry my son. And then they had a baby, and that was Jason. So yeah. Jason's grandfather overthrew his maternal line. And then, as far as Jason knows, basically made his mom marry his dad. And
Yikes.
And then this is all like the concept of the novel, so it's not like I'm tipping my hand or anything. And then the emperor, so the son of the usurper, is like, hey, in the eyes of the public, my son is both from the line of the usurper and the line blessed by dragons. That's a threat to me being an emperor. He's not that much younger than me. I mean, like, he's 20 years younger, but 40 is not retirement age.
And he's the age that he was when he took the crown, so.
And then the emperor has another child that is the son, that is from his mistress. Because the empress, Jason's mom, mysteriously died. And Lady Marina is from one of the countries that was taken over during the usurper's son's reign, during the emperor's reign, and for their ports. And they have a son, and that son is not a threat in the emperor's eyes. But Jason's like, I have a little brother. He's adorable, and I love him so much. And little brother's like 8 years old. Like, he's a kid.
Yeah.
So there's, political machinations. It's like, oh, we have an heir, but we want the spare to be the heir because the heir is too
likely to take over too soon.
Yeah, he's too dangerous. So there's like, the emperor's trying to do like a smear campaign, but also the like concept for the start of the novel for Jason's side is Jason has returned to the capital after about 12 years of being absent. After his mother's death, he was sent away to his mother's like family's like small land that was like, oh, their countryside home, they like the small territory on the outskirts. And he's been doing that for 12 years. And it for the people in the capital, they'd be like, oh, our prince is so sad, like he's gonna go get in touch with his roots, like away from like the influence of the capital, like let him be safe over there, and like then he's returned, yay. But the emperor was like, I don't want you to be around and be politically maneuvering as you grow up, so go over there and die, hopefully. And then he didn't. And so he rolls back up. Well, it's coming of age. So in this world, I'm doing coming of age being like 21. Because I don't want to write porn about teenagers.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yep. Actually a wild opinion to have, apparently. And so he's coming back, and the emperor's like, hey, at your birthday celebration, you're going to say you have no interest in being emperor and going to denounce your right to inherit the throne. And Jason's like, yeah, I'm totally going to say that.
Fuck that.
Of course. And so there's these different factions in the capital trying to get a read on what Jason's actually going to do. And Jason's trying to get a read on the capital because every time he tried to get information, like, from it, like, those people were killed. Like, he has very little up-to-date information on the capital. So he's like he has like a week leading up to his birthday celebration where he's trying to like figure this all out. And then like Rye rolls up and is like, hey, dragons are attacking, guys. And Jason's like, I don't need something else on my plate right now.
Always something.
Also, it's the right thing to do. So that's the concept.
Yes. I hope you know that the darkness has been the miasma in my brain this whole time.
The miasma?
I just I picture it as like a frothy thing, a frothy dark.
Yeah, that's fair. It's so, the way it is told in the book, I have a bard telling the story. So yeah. At one point, I do want to at least write a short story or maybe a flash fiction, maybe a novella, maybe a whole ass novel about the lesbians that founded the empire. So they're called, in the book, they're called the founders, like the founding couple, the founders. I was like, they're a fun novel I'd love to write later, and I have a bard telling that story and centuries having passed. So I'm like, whatever difference between the bard telling the story right now and then what will happen in that novel or story when I actually write it, it can be excused by the passage of time. World and the story fading out. Actually, my intention with that originally was going to have it be a guy and a woman, like a straight couple, be the founders. But I was like,
sorry.
But and then like in the true telling, it's lesbians. But I was like, no, I want it to be lesbian. I want people to know it's lesbians. Yeah.
Straight. Why would you write straight people in a fantasy novel? You don't have to.
There are straight people. Hal and Hannah are straight. They're a lovely couple. Like, they're actually not straight. Both of them are bisexual, but they're a hetero couple. And they have a daughter. Yeah. And yeah, there's other straight people, and they die. Straight people exist.
Straight people die. As long as they die. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's true. But yeah, there are straight people, and they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I can forgive it.
If they die.
No. Always. You're allowed to have straight people. Representation is important.
I'm actually trying to think of a straight character that doesn't die and isn't Hal or Hannah, because they're not straight. I mean, there is, the character I just introduced, Yvette. She's straight.
Does she die, though?
Not right now. Not as far as I know. Hey, Pure Plain Gamer. Rowan is actually subbing in for Sam. I figure you're vaguely seeing our caption and then dark hair and white.
No, I am Sam. We've
Sam.
covered this already. Sam just got a perm and got a lot shorter.
Not that much shorter.
Got a perm, changed her hair color and pronouns.
Yeah, and pronouns. And then so that's my book. As you know. I'm trying to decide whether I want to start sending you chapters. I do need to like sit down with you and explain the whole plot of the book.
Well,
Or I
yeah.
should like edit them first and stuff before I send them to you. But I also want feedback.
I am a beta reader, so
You are a critique
kind of my
reader,
job.
which is higher than a beta reader. Betas aren't going to be getting it for until the book's finished, and I've edited it quite a few times.
Oh, I'm important. Yippee!
Yeah. No worries, Pure Blind Gamer. All right, we're starting our third sprint. And after that, we will have the fourth, which is 15 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. Cool. All right. Mute. Can you mute yourself? Or do you want me to mute you? And that is the end of our third sprint. What was our third sprint, right? I was not feeling it. Because I got to the point where Jason and I met, and I was like, "Yeah, it's romance time!" And then I forgot that they immediately depart and are dealing with like heavy topics, and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot! We have to do like steaming machinations because we're still in the capital."
No time for gay.
I know.
I had a very productive sprint, actually. I wrote like 500 words, give or take.
Okay, let me look at
We're at about 500 words. I'm finally getting into the rhythm of things. Yay. Once I start in the rhythm of comedy, it comes to me pretty quickly. I feel like I'm a good comic writer, but it takes me way too long to get into that mindset in comparison to everything else.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I stopped.
So
last time. The first sprint, I finished chapter 8 or chapter 7.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say around 500 words because I got like 200 to 300 last time.
Twins.
And then this time I think where I ended the first sprint to now is nearly 700. Which I have no idea where I started this time because I got so little done last time.
That is a-okay. Right now, my characters are discussing the differences between weed and cocaine.
Ooh.
Which is really fun because obviously when they were coming up in the industry, everyone was doing cocaine and now everyone does weed.
Mm.
So they're talking about that. They're mostly talking about how everything smells.
Mm-hmm.
But also I only know about cocaine from like a research standpoint. Obviously I've never done cocaine. So I can't have the characters compare what it feels like.
Just look up some of it's like people talking about it.
Yeah, I will. This is just, I'm not going to be doing research today.
That's okay. I've introduced my new favorite character. She hasn't spoken. I have one line about her. It's not even a well done line. A woman sits behind the desk, her black hair tied up in a stylish bun. She looks like she belongs managing a bank, not in this guild of spies. But then again, nothing about the supposed den of thieves and liars is what Jason expected. And I want Jason to have expected like going into the information guild and it'd be like, what you want here?
And there's a librarian behind the receptionist desk.
No, the receptionist desk is this like kindly looking old man. He does have like a horrible scar like bisecting his face. But like he's very soft in his voice. He's wearing a little vest. I have him like have delicate spectacles on. And he's like, oh, you're here for right this way? And then they're like ushered in this like down a hallway. And Jason's like half expecting someone to like jump out or like it should be like, okay, maybe their like front hall isn't like sus, but we're gonna step in there. They're just gonna be like, oh, what you doing here? But they like walk in this hall and all the doors are closed and like there's soft murmurs and like a little bit of light spilling around the crack of the doors and some of them are like quiet and dark. Like the old man knocks on a door and the door swings open and they step in this room as fucking librarian. She's like, and she's gonna be like a stern librarian. I'm like, I love her.
I mean, how would the guild work if they didn't have any sort of like bureaucracy organization stuff?
Exactly. And I'm having so much fun with it.
Even thieves need someone to keep track of their records.
Because honestly, I was gonna have it be like up front, like super like sketchy and stuff, and I'm like, no. It just as soon as we stepped inside, that was not the vibe we're going with. And now I have this like whole information guild in my head, and I'm like, I love everyone that works for them. And I'm like, they're gonna be a very small part of this book, but next book they're gonna be a really big part. because it follows Yuri, and he's the spy. This is the Information Guild. I'm like, I'm so excited to discover who these people are. Later, I guess.
That
she's a queen. And honestly, she should just run the empire. Again, has not spoken a single word.
You're like, I found the new ruler, guys. Fuck yeah. Jason. She's right there.
Can you please come work for the palace? And she's like, no.
She knows what it's like to work in municipal government.
Yeah. He's like, please, like, we will pay you so much. And she's like, can I stab people if they make me unhappy? And he's like,
not in front of anyone else.
What about a quota? I can give you a stab quota. But yeah, so that's
kind of what his dad's doing.
Stabbing people?
Not like himself.
No, not himself. But I think yeah. Once again, I think I trust her judgment. I think Jason would be like, please don't. And then Rye's like, yeah! Stab those motherfuckers!
Yeah, but Rye's a little chaos goblin.
Yeah.
Who shouldn't
Rye's
be
like, I will stab them for you. And she's like, no. This is my thing. You don't have to be here for this. She's like, I want her to give the slight same vibes, but a different story arc than you've read Heaven's Visual Blessing, the librarian lady in that. Yeah, different story arc, but similar vibes. Less done with her job though. Our lady loves her job. She's so much fun with it. She does look like she hates everything, but she's having a delightful time. Yeah. I see that Heather popped in during that sprint. Hi, Heather. Are you still with us? What are you working on?
I'm trying to, what was her name?
I don't remember. I think it began with an L. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like lean something. I want to say like one something.
Yeah, I do think there's a W in there. What is it?
Lingwen.
Okay, yeah. There's a W. Go me. I got an L and a W. I've written 1,300 words today.
Nice. I have written maybe 700? Almost 800.
I'm not going to be right on Sunday because I'm going to the Renton Fair.
Ooh. Yeah. Are you dressing up?
Yes. I'm doing this whole embroidery vest for that. I'm going to show it. Oh,
I've been doing D&D for 4 years and I've never been to a Renton Fair.
That's so unfortunate. I planned, I didn't realize that time moves quickly. So I took a Sharpie to the vest because my like washable embroidery pen didn't work on it because it's a dark vest. And I took a Sharpie to it, but now I have all these designs on the vest that I need to embroider, or I'll just have Sharpie on it in like 4 days.
Doesn't embroidery take a really long time?
Yeah. But this is what I have so far.
Yeah, but it's okay. You'll ADHD get it done.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Dimension 20. This is what I did first. And I was like, oh, that didn't take long at all. I have a spider I'm going to add to it. I'm going to do a lot of outline work, I think, on these designs. Because the filling in, this is what I spent I spent 2 hours on this last night. And I'm slightly dying. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Little berries.
I did these way too small. So I went up in thread count for this. Because this took, you can't even see how fucking many there are. But there are so fucking many. And I was like dying. I was like, oh, this is taking forever. It's called a French knot, which is not, it's fun to do, but not when you do like 200 of them. Okay, not that many, but it's fucking a lot. So I have to do the final raspberry and then the actual stem for the raspberry, which I'm going to do in green. And then, so the spider, I just a little like rough mushroom on here.
That's pretty good. I'm sad.
Thank you. I want to add a caterpillar on like a leaf.
Cute.
I think that guy's going to be an outline. I have a snail over here, which is not going to be an outline. I'm going to fill in so I have like the spiral effect. I have an acorn.
And again, you have 4 days to do this?
Today is Wednesday, so I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, but it's Wednesday at 2 p.m. for you.
It is, which means I have, we'll finish at 2:30-ish, 2:45. And I should go grocery shopping because I have like no food. And then I have like 6 hours of working tonight. I have this dragonfly. I would put some dandelions down here. Some clovers. And that is the end. I do have this bead that I did.
That's a lot of stuff though. That's
yeah. And then I do want to like put tiny little ants all over it to fill in some of the so much empty space.
Could you like fill in with some decals or sew in some like plastic butterfly?
I don't have anything. But I think the ants should be fairly simple. Or in like little gnats and stuff. But
yeah.
Because right now it's just that. And then this. Which is not great. But it'll be fine.
I like it.
So yeah. My whole Pinterest feed is just different embroidery stitches for making cool looking straight lines. And I'm like, that's not useful for me. Like there are so many ways to like do a ring on like the outside, but I'm like, that's not for making shapes and stuff. That's just like, it looks like a chain. It looks like a curly cube, but it's just a line. And I'm like, I don't want to
for like the edges of stuff, but
yeah,
that's not what you're looking for
here.
I will need to pop off during this sprint at some point.
No worries.
Pop off in the leaving way, not in the doing a really good job way.
Or yelling at someone.
I know you will all mourn my absence so dearly, so I just want to give you all time to prepare for it.
I'll just be crying on the stream.
Yeah, you're going to ruin your makeup.
I'm going to ruin my makeup. I actually started using a different brush for my makeup, and I feel like I'm painting my face because it's
a foundation brush.
Yeah, it's such a thick bristles versus the like very classical like this kind of brush because this one is cleaned.
That's a powdered brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I switched over to a silicone cushion from I used like a beauty blender for a really long time. I feel like it eats less product.
And beauty blenders are dens of
I watch it every day.
That's good. But
I've also got the things are contaminated disease.
So
like OCD will not let me not wash it every time I use it.
Honestly, probably really good for your skin.
You can just use like your face wash. That's what I do.
I'm gonna do that for my brushes because they're not in great shape. Sam and I talked about this I think yesterday. My D&D notebook.
Wait, whose stickers? Oh my goodness. Do I see
it's just them.
Do I see Xielian? Oh my god, my friend.
No, it's literally just like yeah. The front is like serious ones. I'll send you a picture of this. And the back is like these chibi ones. There's no Ayan ones. There's only the like Yelly child, Jinling, and then there's Jinling and then Lan Jingyi.
Jingyi is my favorite.
Yeah,
of the juniors. I love him so dearly. Yeah. He's the Wei Wuxian. Lan.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I like the thing where it's like Lanyan or like Ion was sad about not having a, way we stand around anymore. And so Lanzon went and found the loudest child.
Here you go.
Here you go. Be friends,
Worked
please.
for me, it can work for you.
Stop being sad. All right, that is entering our final sprint.
Just unmuting quickly to say that I'm off. Bye. It's been very fun. Thanks for having me.
Hi. All right, that is the end of our stream. Let's see, how many words did I get that done? Probably not very many. And the fact I was typing out numbers. Yeah, I only got 191. I guess it was 15 minutes and I refilled Storm's water dish. But and like having two people negotiate a price back and forth. And so I'm like 75, but typing out 75 instead of just the numbers. I'm like, does this count as artificially beefing up my word count? Doesn't think so. But it's definitely a kind of thing. Let's see. I wrote total for the stream 1574, which is pretty good, I think. Add it to my little draft tracker 7-4. I did not write for all of the sprints, but I'm going to say that was 1 hour. There we go. Cool. So I'm at yeah, that's not. I'm at 4,692 for the week so far. Hopefully that gets beefed up. Yeah, it's only 3 actual days of writing this week. I guess. Oh wait, it's only the 3rd day that I'm counting. It's Wednesday. I'm almost halfway through my goal and it's only Wednesday. That's a much better way of looking at it. No, that can't be the sum of them. I haven't written 4,000. I'm doing this on my phone because I'm bad at math and Google Sheets. All right, so we have 1742 the first day, plus 570 yesterday. Not feel good yesterday. Plus 1574 today equals, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. 3,886. Wonder why it popped up so much before. Equals sum. Maybe I hit the one above. Yeah, that's right. I just didn't know how to use this fun little device we call the internet. I am going to go ahead and end the stream a little early today and go to shopping and get some food, which I am peckish. I don't know why I'm talking like this. And then hunker down and do some embroidery. It's a very intense day over here at CB Ferrenz's house. But yeah, I hope those of you that joined or even just lurking had a good time. Like the stream if you did. If you didn't, sucks for you, I guess. But yeah, I know there's 6 minutes left, but nah. Bye. Oh, I have a little, yeah. Bye.